Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to tell you about a writing project that I have for my kids for this year, but also a writing project for myself. So first I'm going to start with the writing project for myself. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of promptly journals, but these are journals that you can get all sorts of different ones. This one is a complete childhood history from the womb to 18 years old. I have one for each of my kids. So this is my son Roman's. I got this barely this year for him, so when we did their hands and feet, his are bigger. I can show you Mavericks. So I got theirs this year as well. So there's Mavericks, foot and handprint. So a little bit smaller. Anyways, so these are promptly journals and you can have them from womb to 18 months. I got these a little bit later for my other kids because I didn't know about these. So I'm in the process, again, writing project for myself, I'm in the process of filling these out for each of my kids. Now I've kind of started with where they are currently at, and I'm working backwards now. So anything that I come across, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when they were this old, I did this. I remember this, I remember this. So that's how I'm working on the older kids. My younger kid, thankfully, I'm actually able to work forward in his. The only thing I really don't remember for his is like the pregnancy checkups, because if you're new here, or maybe not even if you're new here, because when I was pregnant with him, I actually didn't go see the doctor until I was 28 weeks along, and that's because we lived in Australia. I called him from Australia and he said, you know what, all your pregnancies have been fine and healthy. Like if you don't want to go see somebody until you come see me, that's just fine. So that's what we did. So the writing project for my kids for this year, this is the Loom Journal by Promptly. It's a parent and child connection journal. So this is something that my older kids can do in the afternoon while my babies are napping. And we've kind of started to do this already. So what this does is it goes through and it asks questions. And so right now she's working on this one. So she's going to color this tapestry and then I will color the tapestry. You can write the date down here, circle what day of the week it is. And then up in this corner, it actually says parent, so she's actually working on the one that I'm supposed to be doing. And on this side, it says child. We haven't done these for a while, so she just forgot. But it's fine, not a big deal. You haven't gotten that far on it. You could change if you wanted, or we can just cross this out and put child with parent there. Not a big deal. So these are things that like, you don't have to go in order in this book either. I've told my kids, let's skip around. There's only one that we actually did in order, and that's because at the very beginning, there is this story here. It's called The Tale of Threads, and I read it to them at the same time, and then it goes on and it's basically this tale about weaving a tapestry and how you want to make sure that you're adding the best threads into yours. And then that is when we filled out these first pages because it goes with that story that we read. Other than that, everything else we have just been skipping around in. Again, it's all kind of connected to that first story. As you can see, here's the tapestry. But you don't have to go in order to that. So today, this afternoon, it's rainy, my babies are napping. I've told my kids, here's your journals, sit down and do one page. It's not that hard for them. So this is also something that my child has done. These are all, what was this page for? Is it things that you like? Okay, so this is what makes you you. What do you love? What do you hope to become? Use words, stickers, and cutouts from magazines to create a collage, your own version of a tapestry. So this is what she loves. She loves cheerleading or hearts?
Cheerleading.
She loves cheerleading, gymnastics, and her name is Paris. And you want to go to Paris someday?
Well, I did when I was a baby, but I cannot remember.
That's right, we did go when she was a baby. So these are all the things that she loves, and now that she has done this, I need to write her back and make a collage of my own for me to put into her book. So just little things like that. It's also, again, This is also one of those things where it is a writing project for the parent, but it does have in the very back here, it says threads to hold on to. This section is a special gift from parent to child. Here, you, the parent, will record your child's memorable quotes, bring light to the gifts and talents you see in your child, and write a letter to him or her. This is a keepsake section you'll visit again and again to record the things you never want your child to forget. So this whole back section is just, I write a letter to them when I'm ready and I have the time, and maybe when they're a little bit older, right? And then it has little quotes and things here that you can write about your child in the back. But then the rest of the book is the parent and child connection. So that's what I have for each of my kids this year for a writing project. So this is for my babies, newborns. And this is for my kids now. And again, there is a size difference here. It's quite a bit wider and taller than the child books. So these are a little bit bigger. But yeah, so that is the Promptly journals. This is not sponsored. I don't have a code. I don't have anything. I can leave a link in the description box if you want to go check them out. They also do sell on Amazon as well. They have less color selection on Amazon, so I like their website. You can kind of see more on their website, get a few more colors on their website. But this is their Loom journals for parent and child. This is my kids' writing project this year. Now we're going to switch gears, and this is what I had my kids do as their writing project last year. Last year they did, they had an Instax camera. And okay, so I'm gonna start with my, what was he, 2 at the time? At the time, my youngest was 2, not my youngest, but I had a 2-year-old that wanted to do this. And so this is his book. Now his book was just the pictures that he took and stickers. And he really loved this. He had so much fun. He would just sit and do stickers all day long. I've come to find that he is starting to be my artsy kid. Like, he really likes to sit and paint and color and draw and do things like a little scrapbook. So
He's getting really good at it.
he is getting really good at it, huh? So this was his book that he just had fun with. Now my kids, this was their writing, like I said, this was their writing project last year, which this year it's not. This year it's their Promptly journals. But I do kind of want them to continue this, but we're gonna have it'll be less structure. So for them, I wanted them to take a picture. They would take a picture and then they would write about it. And I wanted this page to have the picture and then this to at least have one paragraph that they wrote about. Basically, it was journaling, but with photos to make it a little bit more fun. I had stickers, gel pens, fun wasabi tape. It's not wasabi tape, fun washi tape. Had fun tape for them to use and stickers, and I tried to make it really fun. Partway through the year, they both, and then, at the end of every month, that's what I said. I said, I want you to write in this at least once a week, and at the end of the month, turn it into Mom, and I will read through it and leave notes. And so this was the notes that I left her, and she decided to make a journaling page out of that, and I think that's super cute and sweet. And then when we were doing science, we had some science pictures. They asked if they could keep them and write about them. 100% yes. And so this is just kind of hers and what she did. She did a lot of writing, a lot of picture taking. She really did a great job. She did a fantastic job with the decorating, the picture placement, writing enough words. I never ever had to ask her to write more. The only time that this is again the notes that I left her. The only time that we struggled was when they didn't know what to take a picture of. That was the only time that we struggled. So then I had to tell them like, hey, let's take a picture of something that reminds you of Christ, or let's take a picture of something that you really love, or just different things like that. I had to get creative with them, and sometimes it was hard for them to pick something. This is when we went on vacation. I remembered their cameras for the vacation, so they actually ended up with quite a few from the vacation for this one. which I think was the best journal entries that they've done. And then she wants to take a picture of our house, which we have never done. Maybe we'll run out and do that today. Just different things like that that we haven't been able to accomplish. So yeah, so that was the only tricky thing about this, is making sure they had the pictures on hand when they needed them. But all in all, I really enjoyed this writing project because I love seeing what my kids saw and what my kids found value in. Because sometimes they'd take a picture, or they'd ask me to take a picture of them. And you know how, like, as parents, or I don't know, when I was a kid growing up and my parents had film cameras, it was very rare that we took, like when we had to take a photo, it had to be intentional, right? And so I've kind of tried to do the same thing with them, but then at the same time I've had to like hold myself back and be sure to take a picture when they ask, because this is something that is obviously sparking interest in them and they are wanting to write about it. Like that's how I was taking it last year, and so it was good for me and it was good for them. But this year I'm going to ask them to continue this. It's not going to be as structured, but again, in that downtime in the afternoon, when the babies are sleeping, this is something that I'm going to say that they can sit and do and is a good quiet activity. The only difference being now is that hopefully we won't run into the same issue that we had last year, which was running out of pictures and not having enough pictures to write about. So hopefully we avoid that little thing. But this was their writing project last year. I loved it. I loved reading what they had to write. I loved seeing what brought value to their life and what they really cared about. And I'm really excited for this year's writing project, which is the parent and child back and forth journaling to each other. I think that will be fun as well. So that is the writing projects that I have for this year, and the one that we did last year that they'll kind of just continue as a journal, photo journal for them for this year. So yeah, if you guys have any writing project ideas for your kids, leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to see them and maybe give them a try next year or this year. And that is all I have for you guys today, and we'll see you next time. Bye. So